My mic's on. All right. This is the first live Duel of the Fans. Here we go.
This is exciting.
This is very exciting. Something we've been talking about for a little bit now, right? Just pulling up the chat here.
Yeah, no, we've some different content ideas of what we can do. And everything goes back to that. We do want to get engaged with fans.
Yes.
Like, we want to talk to people. I think one of my favorite things is going to these conventions and like getting to talk to fans when I do the interviews. Going to these conventions and like getting to talk. So it's a really fun experience. So yes. I think the stream opens up an opportunity that like we can just talk about some stuff, and the more fans that we get, we can get them involved.
Definitely. So if you're here, I want you to say hi in the comments just so we know who you are and everything. Hit that like button. That really helps. And then maybe we'll get some more people in here. But yeah, so we just did Toronto Comic Con, and that was a blast. How much fun did you have?
So ton of fun. I've been to them in the past, but like mainly in the capacity where I'm just walking around and enjoying them.
Yep. Keep talking.
So it's fun when you go and you know what you're doing, and there's an end goal, we'll say. So knowing that, like, hey, we were there to interview Star Wars fans and get some questions answered. I had a ton of fun.
Yes.
There's a few people that we've run into a few times now, which is really cool. So cosplayers that recognize us, that's a fun experience. Vendors, I think big shout out to the Mando Mercs. I really enjoyed talking to those guys.
I loved. I was editing the videos with them, and you're like, "Who's your favorite Skylar?" The guy goes, "Man, it's still Luke." I was chuckling so good. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hit him with some new questions. But those guys are always super accommodating and a great just time to talk to. So definitely you're at the conventions, like go give them a look.
And their awesome cosplays were just
they're
crazy,
so well done, and they're really into it too. We're like they really help people through like, hey, you want to get into this? Like, here's some resources.
They'll show you the ways.
I think there's some other groups out there that I have some difficulty with because like I want to talk to the members and I want to interview people, but there's always restrictions. So some of these groups have internal restrictions that are like, hey, you can't talk with helmets on, you can't do this. So we've shot some great footage in the past of some of these that they've asked us like, hey, don't post it because we don't want to get in trouble. And it's like
super unfortunate because some of those interviews turned out really, really good.
Right? Absolutely.
And their content was phenomenal. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do any interviews at Comic-Con, but I was there and we were running the lightsaber booth. That was a lot of fun on my side. I'm glad Ryan got the opportunity to get out there and get some interviews done. I got the pleasure of watching all of the content and editing some of the clips together. If you haven't checked out our Toronto Comic-Con video and some of the shorts that we've made out of it, make sure you go check those out in the Duel of the Fans playlist. We just released today an awesome Jake Lloyd video showing some love to him as well, so we'll touch on that later.
Yeah, that was a new thing for us. So I had some great cosplayers. So like some of the traditional cosplays we see, like some of the characters, some really unique ones.
Yep.
And then that was a new question for us that you and I had kind of discussed because so with the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace coming up, I believe it's Sherry Lloyd, that's Jake Lloyd's mother, came out to kind of discuss, the situation with Jake. That he's been in and out of the media and the news for various reasons over the years, and like
most of them not good reasons.
Yeah, and I think it was perceived that Star Wars was really negative to him, like a really bad experience. But she came out to say that like no, he like really loved it, he enjoyed it. Like he is suffering from this debilitating mental health, but this I believe it was paranoid schizophrenia. And like here, so I thought, okay, how cool would it be if we just asked some of these people dressed as him or his character how they felt about it. And
it's so cool.
It was such an amazing response.
And nobody really said the same thing either. If I don't know if you noticed that, but a lot of the answers were different, and all of them were positive. Like one of my favorite ones, which I did hear that a couple times, was, but this is warranted, is he didn't deserve it. So I'm glad we heard that a couple of times. But the one guy who was dressed up as Anakin, he said something like the franchise would not be the same without him, and I truly believe that that's true. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially the Phantom Menace. I know a lot of people didn't love the Phantom Menace, but we realized like when we rewatched it, like it's a great movie, right?
We all wanted to be Jake Lloyd. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
We all wanted to be Anakin Skywalker.
Yep. And I feel like he was a big part of that movie, and for me, he did a great job. I honestly think that movie would have been worse if they had cast a different person as that role.
The movie wouldn't have been what it is.
And I think the same thing with Hayden Christensen. I'm saying that forever. I don't think anybody could have played Anakin the way Hayden played Anakin.
Well, so this is how you and I kind of started talking about it, how we thought it's really neat how the fan base kind of changed on that.
Yeah.
And everyone, loves Hayden Christensen now. We've got the saber out. And he was brought into Ahsoka, and his character came back, and he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and everyone loved it. How cool would it be if, Disney offered Jake Lloyd
That'd be so cool.
A role in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as like an unspoken Mandalorian role or something, like a really cool character. There was that scavenger that we met in season 3, Bad character.
Yep.
Skinny Pete.
Yep.
It was really cool. You could have something like that.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Where like he's
anything like that. They could even give him more of a mainstream role.
Absolutely.
Like they did with Ahmed Best, right? And they gave him Keller and Beck now. So I think that one guy pointed that out, and I was like, yeah, that's also a really good idea.
Yeah,
like,
bring him back. Like, let's show him some love. Like, obviously, you don't want to force him into the spotlight. Like, he is suffering here.
Yeah.
But if there's a period of time that he's well and that he wants to do this, like that should be something that's like absolutely
100%. I totally agree.
And if he doesn't, I think it'd just be cool if we, as fans, especially with this 25th anniversary coming up of his movie.
Yeah.
So it's not Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. It's Phantom Menace. For this 25th anniversary, how cool would it be if everyone just like said something really nice in this?
We need everybody to share that video. Like that would mean the world to me if we could really try to get that out there as much as possible. Because I truly think if he does see that video, like it will make that man smile. How could it not make you smile? At the least, right? Like,
and that was just one Comic-Con with one person. So, as content creators or aspiring content creators, we want stuff to go viral, get big, but we also, it's the message. Yeah. So it's like, hey, share this video, but like make your own.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you guys talk about, if you're an interviewer, if you're a fan, if you're a group of people, like, why don't you guys shoot something?
And you mentioned something really awesome earlier, like this helps Jake, right? So and his mom, and I think that as Star Wars fans, we can be a force for good and not a force for evil, like we kind of have the reputation of. You know what I mean? Star Wars fans are known to be like some of the most ruthless fans out there.
What is it about that? I think like we should host a poll and figure out what is like. I don't want to say the toxic, but what's like the most aggressive fan base out there?
It has to be Star Wars.
Because okay, if you put a Star Trek fan and a Star Wars fan in the same room, like the Star Wars fan is either going to kill someone or like just he's so intense and we're like, I feel like the Trekkie was like, groups of Trekkies are like, yeah, hey,
or even Marvel fans, like
right.
Anime fan, like anything. I've never heard as many crazy stereotypes about being ruthless as I have for Star Wars.
So okay, so this brings us into like one of the topics that I kind of wanted to chat about live and get some opinions. There is an immense amount of hatred for Rey, and like that's not a surprise. We know that. But at these conventions,
our comments, dude.
So at these conventions, I ask a question: who's your favorite Skywalker?
Yeah,
Anakin, Luke, or Rey? First, Luke was the second. Rey is technically Skywalker. As much as we want to like deny it or hate it, it's outright said in the movie, she's Rey Skywalker.
Yeah.
So I asked that question being like, is that someone you enjoy? Is it something you don't believe in? And like, man, the amount of comments that we get that like...
It's crazy. They make me laugh, I'm not going to lie. I don't love Rey, and the trilogy was better before, or the trilogy, listen to me. I think the Star Wars was better before the last trilogy came out. I stand by my opinion. I don't think that will ever change. And I can't give Rey much love because I'm not a fan of the movies, right? So like I don't love anyone in those movies. I don't even like the character of Han and Chewie in those movies.
Like Kylo Ren, as I got my Kylo Ren socks on.
Like it's very rough, and I'm sure the kids, because we are the kids, right? So when we grow up, we love the prequels, and now our voice is loud. And I'm sure the kids, once they grow up, their voice will be loud. Yeah, sequels will be a really popular thing, and like everyone, it'll be the exact same thing that we went through.
Right, absolutely.
A new generation, and like
so, I feel like sometimes the hatred for her is a little bit unwarranted.
That's fair.
I think it's more so about the movies than her, the character.
It's for me.
Like, how can you consider her? Well, she is. I mean, it is what it is. Like
but no, you can't. Like
Luke had some crazy feats.
But Luke's a Skywalker.
You took this.
Luke's a Skywalker.
She's
like
Palpatine.
Exactly. So she should be a Palpatine.
Skywalker.
No, she's not a Skywalker, and like you can't just be like, I'm a Skywalker.
Okay, so this is my theory, and we've said this in the past. When she dies, essentially, and like Ben Solo gives her his life force, he's part of her now. So just like Leia gave her life force to bring Kylo Ren and like Ben back, and so and that's why Ben was good again, because like part of his mom is in. I think part of Ben Solo is in Rey.
I don't like it though.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to like it.
And if that's the way they went, then sure, but I don't like it.
But that's how, like, that part of, like, her is him, which is a Skywalker. You know?
I guess.
Advice and question, but it's just funny to see, like, the amount of people over it.
Yeah. I'm just going to make sure that this isn't...
because, I mean, again, you know, we're not forcing someone to say, like, what is your favorite thing about Rey? It's just like, what's your favorite Skywalker? And then people are like, yes, I do like Rey. And it's like, the comments are hilarious.
Did that clear it up at all?
I think we're good right now.
Nice. What do you guys think about Rey?
Yeah, I mean...
Also, hold up. John McRobbie said such a cool setup. Totally agree. Thank you for that.
Thank you. So this is our gaming room. We were going to shoot a video, kind of maybe...
Showing off the set?
Yeah, not showing off, but just kind of like what we've done. So there's a movie theater in the front portion here, and that's where Colin and I kind of do our screenings. So we'll watch an episode of Bad Batch or of the movies.
Yep.
And then come back here and do a podcast, or sometimes we do play board games. You know?
This man taught me how to play X-Wing. Super fun board game.
Yep. And
highly recommend that.
Yeah. I think that's what we also want to do for some of our new content is maybe some board gaming.
Try out some board games.
Imperial Assault is a big one. It's a very narrative-driven story, so it would be neat to, you know, if we build a good collection of fans and followers, you know, we could stream a game.
Yeah.
You know, it's a narrative story. We can have people online pick characters and kind of...
What do you guys think? What kind of content would you like to see? We got 5 people in here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us.
Definitely. So while we wait to hear that, I want to know what kind of content you guys want to see. So make sure you leave something in the chat there. But how'd you feel about that new Bad Batch episode?
So you and I were reviewing episode to episode. We were not being very favorable. It was like, when is this show gonna get somewhere and do something? I think it really started to pick up. So there's 2 episodes they released together. I think it was 5 and 6. That's where I think things really started to pick up. Like, you saw the action, you saw like the fun story, like the progression of the universe. This last episode that came out tonight with the Asajj Ventress, I feel like it was a regression. You think we step back again? Yeah. Really? I think 100%. It was like, this is my favorite episode. Really? I thought it was completely unnecessary that she was there. Yeah, but she shows up as Fennec Shan's contact. Mm-hmm. So, are there no other mercenaries in the entire galaxy besides Fennec Shan? That was a little silly. And then her contact is former Sith assassin, Night Sister. Ventress. It just seems strange. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they would choose her even, like, before, like, screw Fennec. Why would they choose Ventress if she's already dead? I don't really understand that. We could have brought anybody. What was the point of the episode? I hope that's not the end of it, of Ventress there. You said that you think that's all that there was in the trailer. Jeez, I'm gonna go back and watch the trailer because I said that right after we watched the episode. But like, I think the big action scenes with like her yellow saber was that scene right there. If that's the case,
I don't like it.
Right?
But
Because wasn't the season 3 trailers all like, look at this returning character?
yeah, and like I don't know. I kind of thought we haven't seen Jedi Ventress yet, have we? Or not Jedi Ventress, but whatever this Ventress is.
Mercenary
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I felt like she was very pushed as a Sith, and maybe that was the character, but this felt a lot more her style here. Watching her absolutely dismantle the Bad Batch,
Yeah, you said
was amazing, and we need more visualization of those power gaps. Right? These guys are clones. Yeah, they're cool clones, but they're clones. And Ventress is not only a Night Sister, but she's also was trained by Dooku in the dark side of the Force. Right? Ventress is pretty powerful. She held her own with Anakin. She held her own with Obi-Wan a couple times. Like she's pretty decent. So if we didn't see that, then I feel like the character would have been let down.
You know what? The action scene is really good.
It was really good.
The
hand-to-hand combat, like it was so good.
The speed and like nuance. Okay, so this is kind of not off topic, but this is on just a kind of story here. X-Men 95 has come out recently.
97.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I used to watch it in 90. So X-Men 97 has come out. It's a sequel to the original series, but it's kind of done in a homage with like the art style.
Yeah,
looks old, but it's new and it's modern. I've been watching it with Holly, and like we both said it, the animation is perfect. It's perfect for the time, but animation allows you to do things that live action can't do, and you can get away with art styles or art designs that like you wouldn't in live action. And I feel like the Bad Batch wasn't doing enough of that. Like we were seeing stuff that could very easily be like an Imperial facility or like stuff that we see in the movies. Like I want more of the outlandish stuff, like the crazy worlds and the creatures, like that thing that we saw.
Yeah.
You know, like I want the stuff that's very difficult to put on screen in a live action, but you can get away with it in animation. Yeah. I want to see more, you know, bombastic and vivid fight scenes. So, you know, people thought that I hated that Battle of the Heroes that was done in the
that was so animation. Great.
I didn't hate it. What the point that I was saying was it doesn't do it justice taking that live action scene and making it 2D. Because the whole thing of it, it's in live action, it's the choreography, it's the timing, it's like these actors like coming together, it looks so real. When you do that and when you take that exact scene and you put it in CGI, you lose the choreography, you lose the nuance, you lose some of that. If you go to CGI, do more powerful stuff that you couldn't do, like more force pushes, more visual effects stuff that, you know, fit that universe. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like the Clone Wars did do that. Yeah. You know, even season 7, the Ahsoka Darth Maul fight, like that's very realistic, but it plays into both. It's very fast, but it fits the art style too. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like that was the intent. Where
so you think they're missing artisticness or variety in the Bad Batch?
I feel like it's getting better. Like I like that creature that we saw tonight. Yeah, like that was cool. Give me more Star Wars, like cool more stuff. Give me more aliens. Give me more stuff that we might not necessarily see.
I've been saying we need more aliens in live action and cartoon or animated for a long time now. Like that's. I feel it's very rough when George had more aliens throughout all of the original Star Wars than we get in a lot of the shows and stuff now. Like
humans didn't feel like they were the majority population, even though they
majority
were
times 1,000. Like you know what I mean? Like
even though they were the whole military. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Bad Batch was getting better. I feel like this episode was a lot of fan service.
If fan service is done well, it's not bad though.
Is it though? You know, look at
and what? Okay, define fan service because
people said Ahsoka was a lot of fan service. All the Anakin scenes,
and it was amazing.
Well, if you look at the series, though, in hindsight, not a lot of people liked it. You need to have more substance to that. You need to have more.
But there's going to be people that don't like everything. Like,
oh man,
listen. Cassie from Toronto Comic-Con loved the Bad Batch.
Yep.
Neither of us loved the Bad Batch. I didn't mind Ahsoka. You didn't like Ahsoka. Like, it's. They're doing stuff for everybody, but Andor, you know what I mean? Like you love Andor. There's tons of other people that love Andor. The poll proved me wrong. More people like Andor than dislike Andor, but I wasn't the only one that dislikes Andor.
Have you guys watched Andor? To everyone in the room right now, have you watched Andor, and what did you think of it?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Andor?
I have such a hard time trying to convince Colin that like it's worthwhile of his time.
But so you did convince me, and then I went and rewatched the first 3 episodes, and there was no hook. I wasn't hooked. I didn't want to watch the rest of it.
See, I
felt the exact same way as Bad Batch. Actually, less than Bad Batch, because in episode 3, when the Emperor came out, and we've seen nothing else about that, I was like, oh, that's super cool. I want to know more about that. Dude, Andor did nothing for me.
See, like, Andor has multiple, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's like multiple
stories, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what, did I get through one story and it was just crap?
It's the whole thing of him going on a run, like being on the run. Like, that's where it starts, like the murder. And that's what I love about Andor. It's like, man, there's repercussions. He kills some dude. It's not like he's just going to get away with it. Like, he murdered someone. Like, they're going to hunt him down.
And I think another thing, like, I feel like that's not big in Star Wars. Like, okay, he killed someone. Like, and I get that that's what they're going at, is like, they're going down to that level. But, like, we don't, like, this isn't John Wick. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not watching this for that. I don't want that. And, like, I get it. People do want that. So that's why they made it.
I like to see the juxtaposition. Like, we see, like, the Jedi flying in starships and just taking down carriers and rescuing senators and, like, going... It's like, this dude is just trying to, like, make his way in the galaxy.
Exactly.
Or is just trying to, like... And it's how corrupt the system is. And I think... kind of through like the times that we're in right now, like the economic uncertainty, like the political uncertainty, like I think it like really hit home. Like, oh great, there's this tyrannical government. Not that we have it or anything like that, but like in Andor, you know what I mean? It's like, did you see the scene where he's arrested on the beach planet?
No.
Okay, so that's a big thing where it's like he's arrested for doing nothing, and it's like
But didn't he kill somebody?
But they don't know that. They don't know who he is.
Mm.
He's literally just walking by and he sees a kerfuffle or whatever happen, and he gets like essentially dragged into it. They're like, "You're part of this." He's like, "No, I'm just walking to the store." And from that, he gets arrested and he gets sent to this jail. And that's the whole, like, I've spoiled this hook for you, but like that's the big driving thing. Or it's like this injustice that like he did all this bad shit, but what he got caught for, and there was nothing, and like, hey, this is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And his struggle against like this total evil empire. I don't know. I really want to do a watch. But yeah.
Do you guys want us to do some Andor breakdown episodes? What do you think?
I think especially before season 2 comes out.
When does that come out? What did we spend, another $50 million on season 2?
Colin's just out.
Dude, I hope the Acolyte's good. If the Acolyte's not good, like, and I say this all the time, and everybody says this all the time, but like, it's just so frustrating. You just want to be done with Star Wars. It's like, just give us some good stuff.
This isn't going to get me any fans, but like, I watch the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's like, I get hope every year, and then April, I'm just crushed.
Yeah.
And I feel like Star Wars like that.
It's literally that, dude.
I get hope, and I'm like, this is going to be a good series.
It's literally that.
Like, okay.
What are your thoughts for Acolyte? I know we just did a kind of review, but like, we've maybe seen it again, and like, we had some time to think about it. Like, what do you want? What do you think?
I think it's cool in that, like, it doesn't need to be... It's like a self-contained story. Like, just tell us this story of this Acolyte and the Jedi Order. That's it. It doesn't need to connect to Emperor Palpatine. It doesn't need to connect to, like, the Skywalkers. Like, just give me a story in Star Wars.
So, what is your...
I want it to be that, like, the Sith Acolyte essentially obliterates everyone they see, they come into contact with, until they themselves are taken down, but whoever takes them down also perishes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, there is no history of this person. Like, because, the Jedi have said, hey, there'd be no Sith for 1,000 years.
I saw a comment online that was really good. Someone said, the Jedi have also been super arrogant to that, though. Because who came back and was like, there's a Sith, and they were like, no, that's not real. Like, multiple times, right?
So you could have it that, like, they just don't... Oh, so they could just say, like, oh, she's not a Sith, she's an Acolyte.
That, or even, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, bud. Who are you?
But I
some
mean, like,
grown-up Padawan or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm interested in that, like, there's no characters that we know of. There's no, like...
I think we should totally go Rogue One style and just kill everyone at the end of it.
That's what I was saying, 100%.
Yeah. Like, we don't need these characters anymore.
Right?
It's hundreds of years, like...
Okay, death in movies and in Star Wars and like in Marvel and stuff, but like Star Wars has lost all impact.
Mm-hmm.
So big thing I love with Andor.
That's because nobody dies anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So in Andor, like there's a heist plot line, and you meet a bunch of characters, a bunch of the cast, and they die, and like so they'll be running by, and one takes a blaster bolt, and they just drop, and it's like someone flicked the switch off, and they are no longer alive, and it's like,
yeah,
there's no fanfare, there was no like slow mo, there's no like montage, like they're dead. Keep going. You know, where like everything else is either like the biggest sacrifice or there is no death. Like Ahsoka, Sabine should have been dead like 14 times over.
Yeah.
You don't have the impact of like death doesn't mean anything.
The whole Kenobi show, I mean, the Grand Inquisitor, Reva.
Getting stabbed with the saber means diddly
Reva
fly.
again.
What do you guys think? This is an off topic here. What do you guys think of the new lightsabers? Disney era lightsabers versus Lucasfilm era lightsabers?
That might make a good video.
I'd love to do that one and really break it down because I feel like to like sum it up, Disney era is like bright glow stick, hard blade sword, where
It's what we sell.
prequel era is this like fantastical plasma blade that's like weightless and like almost not there. I kind of like the glow from the Disney ones a little bit more because there's a few scenes that like that Anakin Obi-Wan where they're where he cuts the mask and stuff and you see the blue and red and then it goes to the red, and that was unplanned, that was unintentional. Those are cool, but I feel like lightsabers now have no, it's just like the death, there's no like severity to them. Like you get hit with a saber, like, oh, it just bounced off my armor.
Yeah.
You know? Like I did like in The Mandalorian when like he's fighting against Ahsoka and he has to use his Beskar to like block all the shots. Like I did even at that, like but then the sabers are kind of bouncing off. But then we see them fighting Mandalorians in season, and like they're
and then we also see all the stormtroopers that the lightsabers just bounce off of too, right?
That
like,
one bothers me the most.
Especially in Ahsoka, like we didn't see any limbs be chopped off till we panned past the pillar and the head rolled on the Death Trooper at the end. And
that goes back to that, like there's no like weight to the lightsaber. Like the Ahsoka series when they were fighting those, you know, night troopers or whatever.
The dead troopers.
She should have been cutting them in half, and then like the effect is when they come back to life, they're like half a trooper crawling, and it's like, oh, this is terrifying. Instead, it's like they like whack them, they drop, and they get back up, and it's like this is no different than like reinforcements coming through the door.
Yeah.
Make me feel like they're zombies. Like, yeah, your lightsaber just cleaving them in half, but like they're still getting up. Or it's just legs walking towards you, or you know what I mean?
What was your favorite part of Ahsoka? Because it wasn't all bad.
Rosario Dawson.
She's amazing.
No, but actually, she was a little like cold in it. Like, and I know we've talked about it that like she had to have a character arc. But I thought she was better in Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
That was a different Ahsoka. Keep in mind, she was more relaxed. Where I feel here, she's on a mission. She's driven. Right.
But what changed between those time frames? Because doesn't this take place after those?
Yeah. So before that, she's chilling. She doesn't have goals. Or she has goals, but she's not like actively pursuing something. Also dealing with Sabine's
but I think she is, because isn't she like first time we meet her, she's looking for Thrawn, right?
I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
But the second time, she's just kind of hanging out with Luke.
Yeah.
But it should have been played up that like she's there to talk about Grogu and Thrawn or something, you know what I mean? Like a bigger.
Do you think Disney knew about Thrawn when season 2?
I think they have most of the stuff planned out.
But then why didn't they talk about it?
Because Boba? I think, and this might be a Marvel thing, I think we're so inundated now where it's like there's a reference to something all the time, or there's a Easter egg to something. So it's like people will watch a new Marvel movie and it's like, who's the new cast member in it? So I remember when the Black Panther 2 came out, everyone was like losing their mind because Riri was in it, Ironheart. And they're like, oh man, it's a new character. And it's like, well, Namor is in it, and you've got all these other characters, but like people were so focused on like who's going to be the cameo, or who's going to be like the quick pull or something, or who's going to be the, you know, post-credit scene. You know what I mean? Like we're just so So maybe it's not like they're afraid to say stuff because they think it's like going to desensitize people. But I mean, that's how the first time we meet Ahsoka in that episode, she's like, "Tell me about your master, Grand Admiral Thrawn."
Yeah,
that was a pretty good like hook, wasn't it?
yeah, that was really
little,
good.
like,
what was that? 4 years ago now.
So why didn't she say something to Luke about that?
That's
like,
what I
I'm
mean.
looking for Thrawn,
and that was before that we
Yeah.
got her talking about. So like, why? Because Luke should know, and Luke should be helping.
Luke should give a fuck.
Luke should very much so be helping.
I'm sorry, but Luke should. Like, that bothers me that like you're setting stuff in this time period, but you're not including like the guy who changed it just.
John said, "You've inspired me to watch every Star Wars movie in order after this episode."
Well, there we go.
I love it.
Yeah, you know what? I watch Andor too. Just watch Andor.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is fun when I get to interview people and ask their favorite movies, and like a lot of people say Rogue One. That's a real surprise.
I can't believe how many are not OG6. Like, we hear so much different stuff. Like, or people will be like, "No, it was the Cotter video game, or the Bad Batch, or the Mandalorian." Like, it's a lot. Like, I've heard way more than I thought. Answers that weren't Empire or Revenge of the Sith.
I think Empire is like the least.
Dude, I thought that was all we were gonna hear.
I thought it was always gonna be Empire, but everyone will be like, New Hope, like that, or Return of the Jedi. You're like, okay, and then it's like Force Awakens. You're like, wow. Force Awakens I can get because it is kind of like a retread of like A New Hope for a younger generation.
Yeah. But we're not interviewing like young children, though. You know what I mean?
Well, you certainly get the demographic that like the younger millennials like do like those movies or the prequels, and the older guys are like, nah, man, it's all about
episode 4,
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
What's
your favorite trilogy? Is it the originals or the prequels?
Jeez, that's a tough question.
I know. I don't think I've ever asked you
because
that.
It's like I like movies from each of them. I would probably say the original trilogy.
Really?
Yeah.
If you had to sit down and watch, okay, you can only watch 3 movies.
So you're saying strictly movies?
Yeah, you can only watch 3 movies, and then that's it. Like, you only get to watch 3 movies.
Hope, Empire, Return.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, wow. Mine would definitely be the prequel.
You can't tell me that. Like, I did enjoy Phantom Menace again, but Phantom Menace is not better than A New Hope.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it definitely is.
It's in its own. A New Hope is its own. Like, A New Hope started it all.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's the best.
You cannot compare.
What was the first Marvel superhero? Do you know? It's because it wasn't the best. Spider-Man's the best. It doesn't work that way.
He might be one of the first.
No, he definitely wasn't.
Okay, so what's the best movie in the prequel trilogy?
Revenge of the Sith, without a question.
The best movie in
my opinion, Return of the Jedi. Everybody loves
Empire. Empire is fundamentally a better movie than Revenge of the Sith.
Return of the Jedi, you mean?
No, you're saying Revenge of the Sith was the best.
Yes.
Of the prequel.
You think Empire is better than Revenge of the Sith?
Oh, there's no question.
What? In what regard?
As a movie, in like a cultural, like.
Okay, but in what regard? Like, because the plot's virtually the same, except Empire's climax is half of what Revenge of the Sith is. He goes, "Okay, Luke, I'm your dad. It'll just beat you up in terrible."
If you're sitting down with someone and they've never seen Star Wars,
yep, I would show them Revenge of the Sith over Empire 100 times.
No clue what's going on.
Yes, they will.
The Jedi.
Empire has everything. You see the fall of Anakin and the rise of Darth Vader. You see. Did I say that? I meant to say
subconsciously. The fans heard you say that.
But Revenge of the Sith has everything. It has the fall of Anakin. It has a love story. It has the best action scenes. It has the clones.
The fall of Anakin has no gravitas if we don't know who Anakin is from the first movies or what he becomes.
I totally disagree. I would say more so that about Luke and Vader being his dad.
That's a way better reveal. If you put someone down in front of the movie and they watched it and they watched this character become a bad guy, okay, that's one thing. And then if you put them in front of Empire and they're watching the bad guy fight the good guy and the bad guy goes, "No, I didn't kill your dad. I am your dad." That would be
amazing, but it's not.
They would be like, "What? That's his father?" And you're like, "Yeah, that's his dad who we thought was dead." That's.
But you don't know that he thought he's dead because you haven't seen.
And then you get hit
4
with Leia at the end. There's another.
Was that at Empire?
Yeah, that was.
No.
So Empire ends. Yeah, because isn't that how she finds him on clouds in the satellite dish? She can use the Force.
I thought he just called out to her. I didn't know.
And she could answer, and she's like,
yeah, I guess because then he. But who told him that there's another? It wasn't Vader.
Yoda says it in but I think Yoda says it to Obi-Wan or something.
Why am I blanking so hard on that?
I don't know. Fans help us. But I think Empire itself as a movie is way better than Revenge.
It's a phenomenal movie, but it's
practical effects, man.
It's not. It's not better than Revenge of the Sith in any. What dynamic is as good as Hayden and Ewan? Out of the because Luke and Leia aren't.
I don't know. Mark Hamill and Frank Oz.
What, him and Yoda?
Yeah, man. Super iconic.
That's not half of what Anakin and Obi-Wan are.
Oh, come on. It's like...
We see Anakin and Obi-Wan for 20 minutes in Revenge of the Sith, and that tops everything we get in the originals for
Man, the original Yoda introduction, where he's this hermit and...
I think that's the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, it's so
I hated that. It does him such disjustice from the prequels. But that's the whole point
he's trying to prove. He's like... And that's why, because the prequels came after the fact, but he's trying to be like, what, you think that the Jedi Master would be some swole, ripped, jacked, no,
but it also is kind of disrespectful to Yoda to be like, for him to do that to you need to have some merit, you need to have some ground to stand on, you need to be yourself. Yeah, you can be okay, let's play with him, but I feel like you should still be stoic and Yoda and why
he pulls the
mine, dude.
He's also been living by himself for 20 years.
So then he's crazy.
He raises the X-Wing out of the water, which is super iconic, and he's like, you can do it. You have the power to. You're just not.
Obi-Wan or Anakin defeats Dooku. Obi-Wan defeats Grievous.
Luke defeats Vader, cuts off his head, and then it turns out that it's his head inside of Vader.
That's a vision. That's not defeating Vader.
Boba Fett.
He loses to Vader.
You got Boba Fett.
Yeah.
You got what? Django? No, he was dead by that point.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Boba Fett's. There's no way Empire is anywhere as good as Revenge of the Sith.
You're right. It's far superior.
No.
It's a different platform. There's
You're right. It is a different.
So there's as a movie, Empire's up here, and then as Star Wars movies, it's Empire and Revenge.
No.
But Empire's just
no, dude.
It's fundamentally, I think.
So what are you getting out of Star Wars to say that the Empire would be the best then? What is it that you get out of
the entire plot?
No, but what feeling does it make you have? Because that's what makes a movie good, right? Is the feelings that you get, the hits of dopamine.
So you start off with this character of Luke Skywalker, this Jedi. He is attacked. You see his vulnerabilities. And then it's this overwhelming assault of the Empire. It's the first time you really feel holy crap, the Empire can crush whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to drop 180 or AT-ATs, you know what I mean? They're going to destroy a rebel base. You feel the severity of okay, we have to run from these things. You feel the Luke taking down, the AT-AT with the saber. It's there's so many cool scenes like that. Then he escapes. And he's like, hey, I gotta go train with Yoda. And the whole Han Leia B plot where they're trying to escape and they get stuck in the creature
space worm.
Yeah, but it's all good stuff, man. It's all
so you're just enjoying the visuals then,
everything, but the whole plot.
Revenge of the Sith, you connect with Anakin and his flaws and the way that the Council treats him and holding him back, and he's a very relatable character.
But you need the other movies to really get the extent of what the Council.
I don't think you do. I really don't.
Because you got a little bit of...
Off the hop, we've got Anakin and Obi-Wan, 2 Jedi Knights, flying into battle to save the Chancellor from General Grievous. You don't need any backstory for that. You've got a really rich, powerful guy getting saved by the bad guy, Grievous, right? Who's in charge of the Trade Federation, which we find out, again, at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. Then the big bad guy comes in, who's Dooku, but then, this guy's got some influence, boom, kills Dooku. Off the hop, you're hooked.
Okay, but
you're right hooked.
So from that end, how does, because we've seen Grievous, how he's intimidating before, how is Grievous intimidating in that? He's some asthmatic droid and stuff. He doesn't pull any lightsabers out on the deck when they're fighting. You know what I mean?
We've talked about the fact that Grievous is not as cool as he was in the 2D Clone Wars.
But that's what I mean. It's so that...
But then, but you could put the same thing on the AT-ST. You're like, why is the ATST cool when it barely moves?
It's not the ATST, it's Vader.
Or AT-AT.
Vader's the one that ends up on Hoth.
But
so you feel
the
that
droid, the big droid bad guy would be...
It would be Darth Vader because you think he's robotic.
I mean,
he's a guy in armor.
Sure, I guess if
so
you're
like
just
my whole
watching
thing is
that
like
one.
you see him on the like he's there in the front lines. Like you don't see him attacking, but like he's there with his troops when they storm the hangar. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's like Vader has more of a looming like threat. And
yeah, but Vader is Anakin, and I think
people don't know that. If you just you got to pretend that someone
you don't know that
movies.
if you're watching Empire. You find that out if you watch Revenge of the Sith. You see the best action scene in cinematic history. You see Anakin lose his wife. You see him follow the dark side. You see him go nuts at the council. You see Dooku die. You see Palpatine turn into Palpatine. You see Mace Windu fight Palpatine. You see Mace Windu die. You see Yoda do some pretty cool stuff. You see the clones. You see Grievous. Like I'm like, it's everything. Like it's such a great full movie that has all the plot. It's got comedy. It's got action. It's got romance. It's got
can you take out of context?
Got,
is it still as good? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because it's
better.
It's the third movie in a trilogy, so it's had 2 to build off of. Where Empire's only had 1. So there's not as much.
Well, then if you look at it that way, Empire had 5.
Well, no, but I'm saying like if we just look at it as just the 2 trilogies, and you could show one person a movie from each, and they haven't seen anything else. Empire, there's less for them to take in. Luke.
Yeah, but I think
Master Obi-Wan.
You want stuff to take in. That's what makes it good.
That's what I mean. Like, there's, it's not overwhelming. I feel like if you had someone sit down and watch Revenge of the Sith, they're like, okay, wait, clones? Why are these guys called clones? Because you don't see them without their helmets off. And the deleted scenes you do, I think. Right?
Well, and you see Cody without his helmet off, and
you don't see anyone else. So who are the clones? Who is the Trade Federation? Who is?
But not everything gets explained all the time. Like for everything, always. And like you don't need to know like who they were cloned by. You don't need to, like, and you could find that out after if you wanted to. But that's not what we're going off. I'm like, you hear clones or clone troopers, you're like, oh, they're cloned troopers. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, it'd be the same thing with the storm.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one for me. I think I can't, like, as much as I'm
putting up a poll again. We did this at Andor. You beat me with that, but I'm putting up a poll again.
I think we'll put that up as a poll. If you could only watch one movie, or if you could show someone one movie, someone who's never seen Star Wars, what movie would it be? Most people are going to say Rogue One, and we're going to say no, it has to be either the prequel or the original trilogy. Because Rogue One is a good one to show people. Super self-contained, all the characters die.
What is a better standalone movie?
Empire Strikes Back. Pretty good. Even at that, like, okay.
All right, let's go, guys. We got 40 in here. We can't tie this. Let's see what happens.
I'm going with Empire here. I think it is going to be Empire. You know?
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll drop it for a second, see if anyone votes up. I'll put a post on the main channel, too.
Yeah.
I think Revenge of the Sith is just a better movie overall. It's more visually appealing. It's better for people of all ages. If you're not a diehard Star Wars fan, I think Empire is going to be a little slow.
I think it's slower because it's an older movie now. Like, it doesn't
100%.
have but I think it's like, you know, it's as a movie is more complete of a story, and
people would hate me for saying this, but I think Phantom Menace is better than Empire.
Oh my god. This is how we lose all 4 fans that we have. That's what this is about. Like, everyone can have their own opinion, you know?
Buddy, we're at 100% for Revenge of the Sith. We got some prequel fans in here.
I think it's because you made that the only option. You made it Revenge of the Sith and
Empire Strike Back.
I bet he thought it said Return of the Jedi. He thought it said ROTJ. Yeah.
I wonder. It's only one vote, so.
Well, let's see if I can get online and make a second.
No,
I don't think it. I don't think it would work. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of excited for Acolyte there.
Did you do?
No, I'm certainly not getting on to. No, absolutely not.
That's terrible.
Yeah, what are the chances? It's 50. Come on, guys!
Yes, so much in the back. No, Revenge of the Sith is better.
No, it's Empire is the one that you show someone. First time Star Wars, you sit down.
We just got 2 new viewers. Thank you guys.
Thanks
Drop
for
an
joining
A
us.
in the chat. Let us know what movie you think's better, if it's Empire or
Yeah, so we've been debating
Revenge.
if you could show someone just one movie
Standalone movie.
and they have no knowledge of anything Star Wars, what's the better movie?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I would let. So I think too, if we're going with the fans, look how many people said Revenge of the Sith when we do our interviews. A lot more people said Revenge of the Sith than Empire Strikes Back. I don't know.
People also said Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So
did you guys watch X-Men 97? We touched on that a tiny bit earlier, but we both enjoyed it.
I love how the feel of that, like it does feel like it's a 90s show, the color, the art style. The animation is modern and new.
If you watch X-Men 97 and then go back and watch the old X-Men 97, because I did that at the store today.
It's so.
Oh my god,
especially the
dude.
last season because they changed animators.
Yeah.
That was a big thing with the original X-Men show is they had multiple animation companies. So within an episode, you'd have really good animation, and then you'd have like horror quality or like Scooby-Doo-esque, and because it was 2 people doing it.
Yeah.
So we talked about Acolyte. So what's going on with Skeleton Crew? Is that still a thing?
Is there even any updates on it?
Well, we're getting trailers for Acolyte when Skeleton Crew is supposed to come out. Now?
Was now the time?
I think it was originally wasn't it like February?
Is that a trailer?
Oh, we could be wrong here.
There's no way.
No, probably a fan trailer. I was kind of excited for Skeleton Crew because I thought maybe it was gonna like tie into maybe this Ahsoka like jumping galaxies, but like it's gonna be and younger kids and Jedi here.
We have cast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
other than that, there's not much.
I was excited for that one. I think Acolyte, I'm a bit more excited.
Yeah. Especially after that trailer. That trailer was awesome.
I get the feeling, and I know it's not, but they're more like High Republic era Jedi, which is cool. So it'd be neat to see.
Look at that. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith is where it's at, baby. Oh, I love it.
We'll keep the posts up, or we'll put it on like a bigger thing.
Yeah, I'll throw it on the channel because you did win the last poll. The last one I put up was, "Do you like Andor?" And I mean, I definitely took the side of no, and I think we had like a 75% people like Andor. So
good show.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Was there any other topics you wanted to cover?
No, just kind of touch base, kind of do a trial run for this. You know, kind of again talk to you guys more, see what kind of content you want from us. You know, Colin and I always don't agree on things, so you know, sometimes we even want feedback too, like questions, so that we can kind of debate each other and get a real duel going here.
Right?
You know,
we had a little one going there earlier. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you're watching this after, thank you.
Yeah. To those of us that joined, thank you guys so much.
We've had a concurrent 4 viewers, so to those 4 people, you guys are awesome, and we can't thank you enough.
We've had a few come and go.
Yep.
You know, this is a new channel for us. This is something new to us, so you know, we're not perfect at it, but you know, feedback helps. Criticism helps. You know, stop telling me I drink all the haterade.
That was so funny, dude.
I'm not gonna live that one down.
That was so funny.
Yes, I hate Star Wars. I absolutely hate Star Wars, in case you couldn't tell. But
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll try this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All the best. Take care.
Peace.